Hello! It's 12 o'clock. Today we're going to talk about making time for marathon training when you got a busy life. We also have a half marathon pace workout. 2 miles easy, 8 miles at marathon pace, and 2 miles easy. Let's get after it. So people ask me, because they're, pretty amazed by the fact that I take the time to not just run marathons, but also to document on top of a job and with kids. The truth is I actually don't think it's like a time thing. I think it's more like the fact that I do it and the why behind it, So why do I run marathons? Well, I always considered myself an athlete, especially at a young age. I was exposed to a lot of different sports, from swimming to baseball, basketball, karate, team sports, as well as solo sports. While I might not have ever been great at them, I always strived to be as good as I could be. And, I'm not really bad at a singular thing, but I'm not great at it either. Running very much fits within that category. It's never been a focus of mine. I would run 5Ks for fun, but I never ran anything more than that. It wasn't until after I graduated from college, shout out to Rutgers, my roommate as well as our friend wanted to run the Rutgers half marathon. And me not knowing anything about endurance sports or running, not understanding the importance of a training plan, I didn't really train that much. In order to catch up with my training, I decided to run the 3-mile loop, 3.5-mile loop, around my house. And I decided instead of doing it once, I would do it twice. And that was a big mistake, because on the second loop towards the tail end, I felt my IT band get pulled, and it wasn't the same for the next 10 years. Anytime I ran more than a mile, it would aggravate my IT band, and I could barely walk stairs and everything else. Even running a 5K, which I would easily be able to do, was close to near painful, if not impossible. The thought of running 8 miles at half marathon pace right now is a little bit daunting, not gonna lie. We're aiming for 7:45, 7:35, something like that. 8 miles, here we go. Even though the marathon was always kind of like in the back of my mind as a bucket list item, I thought it was never going to happen. And I wasn't really so much upset by that, because even then I never seriously thought about doing marathon running. It was just that I thought it was just never going to be an option. I was supposed to go 8 miles straight, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a headwind or I'm just out of shape, but heart rate was a little up for where I wanted my pace to be. So I'm opting to take a 3-minute breather and then go back to 4. Plus my water bottle froze. Not good. So you might be asking, how do you go from not being able to run a mile to being able to run again? Back in, I would say, 2018, I believe it was, I went on a Colorado trip for skiing with another college friend of mine. And on the way back, I was listening to TED Talks on the radio driving back to the airport. One of those TED Talks was about body adaptation. And one of those TED Talks was from the author of the famous book Born to Run. I believe his name is Chris McDougall. And he talked about these elderly Mexican tribe Indians that had this culture of running ultra marathons even at a very old age.
And that planted a seed for me, knowing that the body can adapt to things as long as you give it the opportunity to do so. Fast forward 8 months later, I was watching Chicago Marathon for probably the 4th or 5th time. And I was talking to one of my coworkers. We were just talking about how great would it be to be able to do something like that. And she suggested, why not sign up for a half marathon? And I said, well, I'm injured. I can't run more than a mile. She said, well, I'm the same way. I have a back issue. So we made a pact with one another. We would sign up together and give it our best shot. So I would hop on the treadmill and run less than a mile, 0.5 miles. And while that might seem embarrassing, I knew my body wasn't going to be able to take more than that. So I just went very slow with the distance and didn't run that hard and ran very short. And each and every day, well, not every day, actually it was like every half a day, I would just hop on and do the same thing. And little by little run more. Until a month from there, I was actually able to run a 5K pain-free. I hopped on the treadmill, and even though, I could have tried to run as far as I could, I already knew that was going to hurt me more than anything else. So I went slow. After learning from our TED Talk that the body can adapt, you just gotta give it time.
I'm feeling a lot better now. It must have been the headwind going down south. All right, 8 miles. Dude, good. Woo. The workout did not go completely according to plan. I was hoping to go 8 miles continuous, but I do think it was the headwind that caused me to feel tired and not hitting my paces. Going back to what we were talking about before, making time to marathon train. You want to start off slow. Set reasonable goals, like we said in our last video, because it doesn't require that much time if you have reasonable goals that are attainable when you're first starting off. And then you just grow from there. Just like, whether it's the workplace, school, whatever it is.
When you start off slow and you build up, you give yourself the opportunity and your life to catch up with you. To go from 0 to 100 is very difficult. It might not be worth doing that, depending on how it affects the people around you, your relationships, or even yourself. But if you go slow and give yourself the chance to adapt and the others around you, and give your life a chance to adapt around it, I think you'll find that you'll have more success that way. Now that I'm able to run a marathon and have that feeling of running a marathon, training for a marathon, I felt like my legs came back to me in a way where it reinvigorated something in me as an athlete, as a person, that I thought was taken away from me. And it's also not wanting to lose something that took so long for me to get back. Something that I thought I couldn't get back. Well, that wraps up things for this vlog. And I think that by the time you watch this, well, I'm days away from doing my half marathon trial. And we'll see where we go from there. I'm thinking that we'll probably be in good shape to PR in May. I'm hoping to address some of my challenges that I've had with cramping and things like that for that marathon. So, we're looking to hopefully PR later in May. So follow along. Pace groups feel like they're going quicker than they should be. We'll just race our own race.